Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something I know is really relevant for a lot of you. How do you study effectively without completely burning out?
Yeah, it's a big one.
You've shared a fantastic collection of sources, and basically our mission today is to pull out those practical, actionable tips, things that will genuinely help you study better and look after yourself.
Exactly. We've got some really solid stuff here. On one hand, we'll look at, concrete study techniques, ways to actually learn more efficiently.
Great.
And on the other hand, we're diving deep into academic burnout, what it is, how to spot the signs.
Which is so important.
Crucial.
Hmm.
And critically, how to prevent it or how to recover if you're already feeling it. It's all about finding that balance, isn't it? High performance, but sustainable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you want to learn well and feel good doing it. That's the goal.
The ideal scenario.
Okay, so let's jump into these study strategies first. One thing that popped out right away from 10 study habits that lead to academic success was the whole idea of your study environment.
Yes, that source really highlights finding a space that feels comfortable for you. Could be your desk, maybe a library corner, maybe even outside.
Right, not necessarily one perfect place.
And what's interesting is the idea that just changing where you study can actually help your focus, and maybe even how well you remember things later.
Like hitting a little refresh button for your brain.
Kinda, yeah. A mini mental reset.
That makes sense. It's less about having the perfect Instagrammable setup and more about what genuinely helps you focus. And maybe mixing it up keeps things fresh.
Definitely. And building on that idea of environment, another thing mentioned is, well, sound. Specifically, relaxing music.
Ah, yes, the study playlist.
Exactly. And they mention specific types like classical music, which many people find helps concentration, or even things like lo-fi hip-hop, which is super popular.
Right, the chill beats.
The thinking is that having some calming background sound can make studying feel, I don't know, less like a chore or maybe lifts your mood a bit.
Creates a more positive vibe around studying. I can see that.
Yeah. And speaking of positive vibes, another simple thing, snacks.
Always snacks.
Yes. The source points out that having some snacks handy helps keep your energy up, especially during longer sessions. Makes the whole thing a bit more enjoyable, too,
Fuel for the brain.
basically. And while, healthier snacks are probably better overall, a little treat in moderation isn't going to hurt. It keeps you going.
Good point. Okay, environment, check. Soundtrack, check. Snacks, check. What about the actual act of studying? The 10 Habits source talks about pacing, Rhea.
This is so important. It makes the point that you just can't realistically absorb like 10 chapters in 30 minutes.
No kidding.
Trying to do that is just counterproductive. The
Yeah.
focus really needs to be on understanding the material, not just blasting through it.
So quality over quantity.
Exactly. And taking that slower, more thoughtful approach helps you build a routine you can actually stick with long term. Sustainable learning, you could call it.
Sustainable learning. I like that phrase. And part of sustainability is breaks, right? That seems to come up a lot.
Across the board, yes. Sources like 10 Habits really stress stepping away regularly, maybe every 30 minutes or so for a short break.
And what should you do during those breaks?
Well, they suggest really disengaging. Go for a walk, do a quick stretch, maybe even a super short nap if that works for you.
Ah, so not just scrolling on your phone?
Ideally not, no. The idea is it lowers stress and actually helps you retain information better when you come back to it. Gives your brain a chance to sort of file things away.
Okay, makes sense. Process and consolidate. Now, we all learn differently. How do the sources address tailoring study methods?
Yeah, 10 Habits mentions this. People are visual learners, auditory, kinesthetic, you know the drill. The main takeaway is experiment. Find out what actually clicks for you. Don't just keep taking paper notes if that's not working. Maybe flashcards are better, or drawing diagrams.
Be willing to ditch what's not effective, even if it's what you've always done.
Exactly. It's empowering, really. Adapt your approach.
And what about studying with people? Group study.
That gets a thumbs up, too. The sources suggest that studying with peers can offer fresh perspectives. Someone else might explain a tricky concept in a way that suddenly makes sense.
Yeah, differently than how the professor explained it, maybe.
Precisely. It's another tool in the box.
So collaboration can be really valuable. Okay, shifting slightly. Beside adding good habits, what should we be removing? I'm guessing distractions are high on the list.
Oh, absolutely. Big one. The sources really hammer home minimizing distractions, especially the phone, maybe the TV in the background.
The usual suspects.
Right. Creating dedicated focus time helps you concentrate better, absorb more, And then maybe returning to your phone feels more like a reward later.
A bit of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Okay. Another technique mentioned is practice tests.
Yes, super useful for checking your understanding. They mention things like Quizlet, where you can make your own quizzes.
Right.
And sometimes professors offer mock exams, too. Those are gold for seeing what the real thing might be like.
It's like a dress rehearsal. Less pressure.
Exactly. Builds confidence and shows you where you need to focus more.
Okay. And the final big study habit point, one that probably everyone knows but struggles with. Studying in advance versus cramming.
Ah, the classic cram session.
Yeah. What's the verdict?
Pretty clear across the sources. Cramming just doesn't really work for actual learning. There's not much evidence for it.
So all that stress is basically for nothing.
Largely, yeah. Studying ahead reduces that stress, helps you feel prepared, more relaxed. It's about long-term understanding, not last-minute panic.
Okay, that covers a lot of great ground on effective habits.
Yeah.
But what happens when things get tough? When the pressure builds up? Let's talk about academic burnout. How do our sources define that?
Right. So sources like UOpeople and JIBC describe it as this negative reaction, emotional, physical, and mental, to ongoing, prolonged academic stress.
It's not just feeling tired one day.
No, it's more than that. It's exhaustion, feeling frustrated, losing motivation for your studies, and actually seeing your ability to perform decline. It's a more persistent state.
Okay, a deeper kind of exhaustion and disengagement. So what are the warning signs? How would someone know if they're heading towards burnout, or maybe already there?
Well, there's a whole cluster of symptoms mentioned across the sources. Things like feeling constantly fatigued, even if you're sleeping,
Right.
a real lack of motivation for schoolwork, feeling more irritable, maybe snapping at people, losing that creative spark or inspiration, confidence taking a hit, academically speaking, struggling to meet deadlines you'd normally handle.
That sounds rough. Are there physical signs too?
Definitely. Headaches, mental aches or tension, sleep problems like insomnia, even getting sick more often.
Your body reacting to the stress.
Yeah. And you might notice falling into bad habits, finding it hard to concentrate, feeling bored by things you used to find interesting, even anxiety and a lot of negative self-talk.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's a really comprehensive list. It paints a picture of how much it can affect you. And presumably, this isn't just a temporary bad mood. There are longer-term consequences.
Yes, absolutely. If it's not addressed, burnout can really impact your mental health long term. It can strain relationships. It can affect your sense of self-worth.
That's serious.
It is. Study Smarter mentions the APA definition: physical, emotional, or mental exhaustion, plus decreased motivation and a negative attitude. It really highlights how significant it is.
Okay, definitely something to take seriously. What actually causes it in students? What are the triggers?
Study Smarter lists a few common culprits. A heavy workload, obviously, is a big one.
Makes sense.
But also feeling unsupported in your environment, maybe not getting recognition, a poor work-life balance, all school, no play.
Right.
Dealing with other stressful life events outside of school, experiencing discrimination can be a huge factor, and just feeling crushed by unrealistic expectations, whether from yourself or others.
So it's a mix of academic pressure and other life factors, potentially.
Often, yeah. It's usually a combination.
Okay, so the crucial question, how do you prevent it? What proactive steps can you take?
Lots of good strategies here. Making time for things you actually enjoy doing that aren't related to studying.
Hobbies, fun stuff?
No. Getting regular exercise, spending time outside in nature, social connection, friends, family.
Building that support network.
Exactly. And also, trying to build good relationships with professors and classmates can make things feel less isolating. Setting realistic goals for yourself is key.
Not trying to do everything perfectly all at once.
Right. Tackling procrastination, maybe by improving time management, taking real breaks like we talked about, and even actual vacations if possible. Just generally aiming for that work-life balance.
It sounds like it's about actively building well-being into your student life, not just hoping it happens.
That's a great way to put it. And what about when stress does start creeping up? Are there specific techniques for managing it in the moment?
Yeah, good question. What can you do day to day?
Balancing books and well-being has some good suggestions. Things like prioritizing tasks, what really needs doing now. Creating a study schedule can help feel more in control. Taking those regular breaks is huge. And mindfulness practices.
Like meditation or deep breathing.
Exactly. Simple deep breathing exercises, maybe a few minutes of meditation. These can really help calm the nervous system right when you need it.
Simple but effective tools. Okay, but what if someone listening feels like, yep, those symptoms sound familiar, I think I am burnt out? What then? What are the recovery steps?
First step, often the hardest, is acknowledging it. Don't just ignore the symptoms.
Right.
Then reaching out for help is really important. Talk to an academic advisor, a counselor, a mental health professional.
Seek support.
Definitely. And actively manage the stress you're under. This usually means making some real lifestyle changes, maybe bringing in those mindfulness practices we mentioned, really working on that work-life balance.
It sounds like it takes conscious effort.
It does. And it's crucial to remember recovery takes time. It's not an overnight fix. Be patient with yourself.
Good advice. We also saw a student's perspective, right, from the Malala Fund's assembly.
Yes. And it offered some really relatable advice, things like, give yourself permission to actually rest. Don't feel guilty about it.
That's a big one for high achievers sometimes.
Totally. Also, reevaluating your study techniques, like we discussed earlier, and intentionally planning breaks. They mentioned the Pomodoro technique specifically.
Work for 25 minutes, break for 5.
Something like that, yeah. Focused bursts. Also, focusing on your own progress, not comparing yourself constantly to others, and finding supportive friends or peers.
That peer support seems really key, both for studying and for well-being.
Absolutely.
Now, there was also mention of a cross-sectional study. What were the key findings there?
Yeah, that study found that, well, a significant number of university students do experience burnout. It wasn't a rare thing.
Okay.
And interestingly, it suggested factors like potentially gender roles or what year of study you're in might play a role in who experiences it more.
Interesting nuances.
And a key recommendation was for universities to actually implement wellness programs and maybe do burnout assessments to catch students who might be struggling.
So, putting some institutional support in place.
Right. Taking some responsibility there.
Okay. And finally, that Reddit thread asking, is burnout even real? Based on everything we've just discussed, what's the answer?
Oh, it's a resounding yes, unequivocally. While maybe some folks on that thread weren't sure, all the other sources, the research, the definitions, they all confirm burnout is a very real consequence of chronic stress and imbalance.
It's not just being lazy or liking discipline.
Not at all. People have different thresholds, different coping skills, sure. But the phenomenon itself, it's real and it has real impacts.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, it feels like there's a really strong connection, doesn't it, between the effective study habits we started with and preventing this burnout.
Absolutely. They're completely intertwined. If you adopt those sustainable, mindful study practices, pacing breaks, managing distractions, you're actively building resilience against burnout.
You're protecting your energy.
Exactly. And conversely, being aware of burnout signs and prioritizing your well-being allows you to actually learn more effectively and, frankly, enjoy it more. They feed each other.
Makes total sense. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Take a second to reflect on your own study habits and how you're feeling, stress-wise.
Yeah.
Which of these ideas, maybe for studying smarter or for better self-care, could you maybe try incorporating even just one small change?
And maybe this chat sparked some other questions for you. Perhaps you want to look into specific time management apps or try out a mindfulness exercise or even just reread one of the articles we touched on.
Yeah.
The main thing is to be proactive in finding what supports you personally. Creating that learning life where you can actually thrive, not just survive.